For this week's strength class, we either need to have a hardwood floor where we can put socks or a towel or something under our hands or feet, or we need some sliders. If you only have carpet and don't have sliders, many of the exercises will still work. They're just not going to work in quite the same way. So it's definitely still worth doing. Instead of sliding, you're going to have a controlled movement over the carpet, like a hover. Okay, I'm not going to go into massive detail about each exercise. We're going to dive right in. There's about 20 seconds between each set. So when we get to those 20 seconds, I will explain the exercise that is coming next. They're all fairly simple, okay, in terms of the mechanics, not in terms of the doing. It is still strength training. Okay, so we're going to start off with in a plank position with the sliders under our hands. There's technically two ways you can place your sliders. There is like a fabric-y side and a plastic-y side. Depends on your type of flooring as to which might work best. For me, I put the softer side down because the shiny side scratches the floor. If I was on carpet, I would have it the other way. Okay, so you'll have to figure out what works for your space, or like I said, you can use towels, bits of cloth, t-shirts, some socks, whatever works. So we're going to start off in a plank position with our hands under our shoulders. After the first exercise, you are going to very quickly transfer your sliders to your feet and they stay there, I think, until the very last exercise. Everything else you need to know, I will tell you as we get going. So let me just start my timer. Let me put it loud enough so hopefully you guys can hear it too. Make sure I am still recording, nothing going wrong with the tech. Okay, 5 seconds, hands on our sliders, holding our plank, circling the hands. So I don't know if you can see, but I'm circling out and then I swap hands. The key with this exercise is we want to stay really stable and really slow. So I don't want to see your hips, your chest, anything moving around. Keep your core nice and engaged. Make sure you're breathing. Don't let those hips move if you can help it. Surprisingly difficult, this one. Oh. It's going to help with lots of things like Aisha, Western flags, INX, anything where we've got to keep that core stabilized while other movements are happening. Okay, straight away, put the feet onto your sliders or your towel or whatever. Next one, we're going to do mountain climbers. So we're going to very slowly bring the knees in and back. Exactly the same. We don't want those hips and that movement. We want real stabilization on this one. Make sure you're breathing into that plank. Slow. I forgot to say, if you have dodgy wrists, elbows in your plank are fine. Slow, controlled. Really push the floor away. Don't collapse into your shoulders. If you need to take a second, that's fine. It's a lot of planks today. We've got more positions, plank positions coming, so you do what you can. Knee to elbow, slow and controlled. Really push down into the ground, into your slider. Next one, same thing, we're in a plank, but now we're going to take the leg out to the side and then swap to the other side. Try and push it a little bit further because we can make this an active flexibility one as well. I'm just going to move myself so I don't kick the wall. Okay, into plank position, open the leg out. I'm so out of shape. No more, we're going to sort this. I mean, this is a tough strength training. Don't get me wrong. Oh my gosh. Breathe, deep breath, deep breath. Let me see what my next one is. Yes, so now we're going to come to our elbows. We're still going to go back into a plank. And what we're going to do is we're going to slide back and slide forwards. Oh my God, that's actually really hard after the first set of exercises. Try not to let your back dip like what just happened to me. So basically, we go from having the shoulders in line with the elbows to back away to back in front. So back, forwards. Might be really tiny like mine is. Oh my God. You can also do this with straight arms if you want to. I think this might even be slightly easier than elbows in some respects. You might only get a few good sets with this one. It is really challenging. It's easier when we do it first. I should have put it on first, sorry. My bad, I wasn't thinking. Just do your best with it. Oh my God. Oh, my core. Jeez. Okay, next one, we're actually coming up. So feet directly under your hips, slide out, side lunge, and back up. These are terrible for me. My legs are weak. Just keep swapping sides each time. Okay, let's go. Take it slow and controlled. It's not about rushing with sliding exercises. It's about being slow. It's about being controlled. It's about stabilizing. You may be able to take this one far enough to feel a little bit of a stretch. This will help with some active flexibility stuff. Nice to have a break from the core. Okay, now instead of a side lunge, we're just going to do lunges. So we're sliding back, dipping down, coming back up. My form is terrible. I'll do better. Swapping legs each time. So slide back, bend knee, up, in. Let's go. Oh my God, this side. Oh, come on, you can do this. This just shows how bad my legs are. I've actually been going to the gym to work my legs out, but it takes time. Got 10 years on my upper body, not very much on my legs. A lot of catching up to do. Slow, controlled. Squeeze your bum to come up. Push the floor away. Okay, next one, we're going to come down to the floor. We still have the sliders on our feet. Fingers can either point to the bum or back, depends on your wrists as to what feels most comfortable. I'm going to squeeze our bum and hips up to a tabletop position. Then we're going to slowly straighten and bend. Let's go, off we go. Keep the hips high, keep squeezing the bum, keep squeezing the core. Nice and slow. Again, when we straighten the legs, we don't want our hips to be wobbling or dropping down. The aim of the game with these exercises is stability. We need a lot of that in pole to hold various poses. This one might not feel too bad. It might. I find it's quite a nice one after some of the more horrible ones. Relax, last one. This is actually useful for pole. So we're going to lie down with the sliders underneath our hands. We're going to lead with the chest and the head back. to come to sitting. Useful for pole if you like floor work. You might have seen where people come up with a really arched back, really sexy like. It's good for that one. So hands out and to the side in line with your shoulders. Push down into the floor, into the hands. Lead with the chest and the head. Slow coming down as well. Slow up, slow down. The slower you can do it, the better. The more you're going to get out of it. And rest. Okay. If you are just training today because you want to do some strength training and you're not doing any other training, I recommend you go back to the beginning and do that again. Have a little breather first, have a few minutes and then go again. If you're going to do some other training today, then you can leave it there. Just make sure, as always, that you stretch and cool down at the end. If you have any questions about any of that today, please let me know, and don't forget, train smarter, not harder.